Live it, breathe it, love it. All sports, double coverage.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to Double Coverage. We hope you're still living, loving, and breathing sport. I'm Dom with the Great Man Sauce, and we have some special guests on today from Vanity Slabs, Henry and Craig. How are we all going, gentlemen?
What's going on?
Oh, man.
Happy
Good.
Friday. Is it Friday over there in Australia?
Saturday morning here.
It's Saturday morning?
We're
We're
behind.
in the future.
Man, there you go. Now we can actually
We're living the future, mate. We're living the future. We're already seeing what happened.
Back to the
give me
future
the winning
all the time
numbers.
for us.
Give me the winning numbers.
We wish we had an $80 million lottery the other day, and one person won it here in our state that we're based in. So it was incredible. Unlucky for us. I wish it could be spread around to everyone, but very exciting to have you on today. Obviously, up and coming in the hobby, and very keen to understand what Vanity Slabs is all about. So we'll kick it off. Whoever wants to go first, either Henry or Craig, just tell us about your experience and how you got into the hobby.
I'm going to let the captain speak first.
He beat me to it. I was going to give him the rug. All right. So I got into the hobby when I was a kid, like us, right? When we were kids, we probably were exposed to either comic books or cards at some point in time. And then life took a toll. We became adults, and a lot of us stopped collecting, right? So then later on in life, when people are making money and have jobs and have an income, we get back to it. But not only that, it came back in steroids, right, with the pandemic, and now a lot of people are in the hobby. I came back to the hobby from when I was 15, when I stopped collecting, to in 2019 in February I came back, and it was due to my father-in-law. My father-in-law comes to the house and he says, "Hey, can you take me to this garage sale to go buy some baseball cards?" I'm like, "You're 70 years old. How are you 70 years old and you're buying baseball cards? Are you buying it for the grandchildren?" And he was like, "No, I like it." He's a historian. He's a Cuban historian, loves collecting Cuban baseball players and stuff like that. So I said, "Okay, fine." To the garage sale. It was a guy that had a garage full of memorabilia, cards, all type of sports cards and non-sports, and I instantly turned into a kid. This was I remember the vision very vividly, and I turned into a kid, and I said, "I gotta buy some of these things," and I got the fever. I got the sports card fever. Then a couple months later, I got the comic book fever. I bought collections. I started buying stuff like crazy. But then a few months after I started collecting, I was like, I wonder if there's other grown men and people that collect at my age. So I looked into Facebook and Instagram, and I saw, wow, there's actually a big community and social network of people, middle age and in all ages, that collect. So I came up with building a group on Facebook, and I started to do various things in the hobby, just kind of figuring it out. But when I started in this social media on the hobby, I kind of saw there was a lot of gaps. When I say gaps, I figured, number one, people were not taking good pictures with their lighting. They were just taking dark pictures. You couldn't see the condition of the card with with the way that people were taking pictures of their cards, and I was like, man, I've been in consulting for over 20 years in technology. My background is in software engineering. So what I started to see was, okay, I want to find solutions. Every single thing that came to me that I thought that there was a gap in the trading card industry, I wanted to come up with solutions. And the first thing I came up with was a photo box, a simple photo box that it's a white photo box, has a background on it, and then you put your cards in it and you take pictures with your phone, but it has LED strip on it. and you take perfect pictures with your phone. I found that online, and I went ahead and I brought it to the States, and it caught on fire. Everyone started to realize that you have to take great pictures of your cards to be able to sell it and market it online. So that was kind of like just the beginning of me innovating and getting my mind going crazy. I digress. I think I answered the question a long time ago.
Beauty. All right, we'll get Craig, his take, and then I'm actually very interested to know how you two met as well. So, Craig, just your experience and how you got into the hobby.
Yeah, a little bit shorter version, I guess. Everybody knows me. I'm a very spontaneous person. I grew up obviously collecting cards. I was a baseball player and I ended up playing professional baseball for a little while. I got out of the hobby, I guess, going into high school. Focused more on playing the game as instead of collecting. Put some cards on the side. Forgot all about them for, I don't know, about 20 years until I started having kids. I coached college baseball for 14 years. And then when I switched over, I opened my own facility. I have my own nonprofit. I have my own youth sports teams, baseball teams. And then, I started getting back in, I guess I'd call it my midlife crisis, my childhood hit. I didn't buy a Corvette. My wife didn't yell at me. I started getting some baseball cards here and there, and COVID hit, and it was like, all right, well, let's open some cards. And everybody was just online and opening stuff. And it just sucked me back into it. And it became a real hobby again. I really enjoyed it. And I realized that there was more of an investment piece to it now, and being financially secure, there was a way to not only enjoy it, but make money. So I became a lover of the card world again. And I met so many good people along the way, which fueled this desire to make the hobby even better. And I think that's where led me to Henry, and that'll kind of lead up into the story of how we met and how all this kind of came to fruition.
So go for it. How did you two meet? Because you're based in different areas in the United States. So if people may not know, Henry's over in Florida, Craig's over in New Jersey. So very different dynamic. Obviously, we know a few people that do podcasts and stuff, and they're based in different areas of the United States. So how did this come about, this meeting?
As I recall, Craig Conway stalked me on social media.
I got caught. Yeah. I never got charges pressed, so I was good. No, I actually, funny thing, I actually joined Wise Guy Breaks through some friends. They told me about Wise Guy Breaks, and I'm pretty active in some of the Facebook groups. I used to kind of just feel them all out, and I just fell into a certain couple. And Wise Guys is more of a family, and I really liked the way everybody handled each other and treated each other. So I jumped in there during the whole COVID season, as we call it. And, Henry was the leader of that whole pack, and we just started having some fun. Our buddy Nick Sichter, who's with us in the Vanity Slabs endeavor, he does a lot of breaking late night, call it after dark. And, sometimes you don't have any work in the morning when you're on a hiatus for 3 months, and my business was shut down. So I'd pop on there. I got a 9-month-old at home now. She's almost 10 months. So when she was a puppy, we just got home, I was up. So it wasn't nothing to do but hold the baby and check out what Nick Sichter was ripping. And once in a while, Henry might pop on with me and start opening some, who knows, maybe some Immaculate, maybe some National Treasures. It turned into some fun, crazy evenings. And then we just started a good, friendly relationship, and really started talking a lot more and ways to develop and build a hobby. And, not to bore anybody with silly little semantics, but, once the idea came up, we both knew it was something to really go for.
Definitely. Well, John and I definitely were very interested, just before you get into how Vanity Slabs came about, but there was so many grading companies just popping up on the scene. And John and I have said it that many times on our podcast, that the market for so many grading companies is going to be a big problem, because everyone's got that PSA, BGS, HGA, CSG as well mentality of I'd grade their CGC. Yeah, it's like I would literally grade there first before I grade with anyone else that's popping up, for the fact of like they're popping up out of nowhere and they're charging pretty much the same price per card as what the big dogs are charging. So people are like, why are we doing it? So John and I actually said to each other, and we said it as a joke on our podcast. We said, oh, you know, we'll set up a double coverage card protecting company. It's just like, we just get slabs, you protect your card, and we'll print your labels. And then we started seeing videos go by, more grading companies. Then it came to the national, and where we saw you was on Pool Wax's video. We saw you, Henry, talking to Michael Vinicor from Pool Wax, and it was awesome. It was like, oh, this is interesting, and it's something different. And because it was something that we were talking about, we're like, well, we got to find out more about this company. So tell us about Vanity Slabs, how it came about, and what it is.
Dun, dun, dun. All right.
Drum roll, please.
Brainchild.
So it was around February of this year, right? I was awaiting a submission from a very big grading company that I submitted in September of last year. February was very hot in the market. It was probably the peak of the market. Jordan sold for over 700,000, and Trouts and Mantles and all these big cards, and many little cards too, Morants, Zions, and all these other cards were selling for so much money at its peak in February. I saw that when I first submitted, I had a guarantee or at least an estimate of getting back my submission in 45 days. So I'm thinking, okay, 45 days, that should be around probably January. I'll get my cards, and all the seasons are going to kind of cross over, and that's where the peaks are going to start going up. So I was trying to, estimate when stuff happened, and I didn't get my cards, right? I just started getting my cards this month. We're in August, right? And that's from the submission of September last year. And in February, I was like, you know what? 98%, about 98%, I'm just going to throw out a number that I don't even know if it's proven, but I've heard 98% of the cards in existence are raw cards. Less than 2% are graded cards in existence. So there's trillions of cards out there that will never see grading, never be graded. Yet collectors want to feel pride in their collections, want to feel pride in what they rip on a break. They want to feel that they don't have to send their card away for many months. And, I have a prized possession. Here's my card. It's my prized possession. I got to get rid of it for a year. And I can't look at it for a year because I'm gonna gamble on that it's going to get a grade that is going to be worth more than what it is raw. A raw card is worth almost the same as an 8 or a 9. Depending on what grading company you use, right? So at the end of the day, you're gambling all your cookies into getting a 10. A Gem Mint 10 is going to get you some good money. A Pristine is going to get you some really wow money. But you're going to send out hundreds of cards, and 20%, 10% are going to come back a 10, and the rest are going to be losses or worth the same as raw, and you lost your submission fee. So all these different, I'm a math guy. I'm a math and science guy. I think it's, I mentioned that software engineering. So numbers always running through my head, and I'm very ADD, right? Because I'm always thinking. My brain is always working. So I was like, okay, there's a gap here. How about, what's the best way I can display my raw cards? Because I have hundreds of thousands of cards now. From 2019 to 2021, I now have hundreds of thousands of cards in my garage. Okay. And Craig and I, he mentioned the story of how we met, and we started ripping last year. We started ripping Panini One, National Treasures, Flawless, Immaculate. These 130-point cards don't grade very well. They don't grade very well. They grade about probably 8s, 7s. Highest thing you could probably get on a 130 point is a 9, meaning that you're potentially gambling away and paying the grading company to just put a subjective number on your 130 point and it's going to be the same as worth raw. If I have a 1 of 1 or a 1 of 10 of a Zion, right? Do you think that grading is going to do anything for the value of the 1 of 1? No, because you only have one. There's only one in existence. So how can you even bother trying to get a gem in 10 for a 1 of 1, a 1 of 10, a 1 of 49? What's the difference? You're gonna sell it for whatever the what does it get? The demand is, right? If that card, that 1 of 1 Justin Herbert, is worth $100,000, you don't have to send it away to get graded, right? So these things, these reasons to my madness was, see my whiteboard back there? It's a whole bunch of scribbles you see. That was my manifestation that I started in February. I started scribbling on the wall saying, what's going on here? Why do we need to send stuff to grade? Why are all these grading companies coming from the woodworks and from the bushes and from the wild? I don't understand. All these people are deciding to tell you that is the condition of a 5 based on what? The reality is that when you get your card back from grading, you don't know why they graded you, what they graded you. It comes back with a number and they don't tell you why it got graded. Isn't that, I think that's a gap in the industry, right? At the end of the day, if you send something to get graded, shouldn't it come back with an explanation saying the reason? I mean, if it has like, subs, right? Okay, it graded because you got a 9 on corners, you got something on surface, you got something on this and that, right? You got some type of explanation. But on other cards that you grade, you don't have an explanation. How that I sent a garbage pail kid in my last submission. 3 garbage pail kids, 3 of them. Okay. Again, I'm not gonna name the company I used, but the reality is that one came back a 9, one came back a 2, and one came out a 3. And the reality is that they look mint, perfect, beautiful. And I look at it with a magnifying glass, and the one that got graded a 2 doesn't even have any rash. I took them out of the same pack. Live. From a live breaker group, this garbage pail kid pack, series 1, got ripped live. And one got a 2, one got a 3, and one got a 9. So I'm passionate, guys. When you decided to interview me, you're not only interviewing Vanity Slabs, you're interviewing.
That's all right, Henry. We love it. We love it. We love it.
It sounds like you've been part of the double coverage family for over a year that we've been doing this podcast, because you sound exactly like Sauce, because that's what we've been saying about grading companies. How can
Henry, please just stop there, mate, because you're talking too much sense for me. You are talking too much sense for me. That's all I got to say. Pretty much what you said about the grading company there is what I've been preaching and what I've been telling people, which is why I have no preference on grading company and why I buy not any grading company. Once again, there's who knows 100 out there now, but any of the 5 sort of major ones that are out here, and then even HGA, the newest grading company. But when I seen Vanity Slabs, I sent the link to Doma, and I said, Dom, this is what we've been talking about. This is what we're saying. Like, why would I just want something to protect my card? And then what also, made me even more interested was the fact that there's a lot of people here, like in Australia, they're concerned about sending their card to America, overseas, the whole postage thing. I'm like, hang on, these guys send the slab to you and you put it in. I'm like, this will take a lot. And there's a lot of people out there that don't care for grading. Like, I see people on Facebook pages all day, like, grading is the biggest scam anyway. Like, why am I going to pay them more money? Like, I just want the card. I just want the collection of the card. I don't care about the grade. Like, and it's not like that's a minority. Like, wouldn't be surprised if that's like 50% of people that are in the hobby that literally don't care about grading. And, there's been some experiences that I've had with grading, and some experiences that a friend of mine has had. And, it leaves a sour taste in your mouth, especially when you go through so much effort to get the card, and I don't mess around. I got like a big magnifying arm that's got a light LED light in it, and I look at it under that. Freaking got a jeweler's loupe. So you go through all this effort, right? And you go like, well, hang on. I've been looking at cards. Look, I've been in the hobby for 3 years, right? I've been looking at cards, flat stick, every day for 3 years. So you're telling me that for 3 years I don't know what I'm looking at, right? And like obviously you get better over time. And then someone who's even more experienced in the hobby, such as yourself, been in it longer than me, it sort of it leaves you a bit pissed off. Look, I'm not going to lie, right? Leaves you a bit, leaves a sour taste in your mouth, and that's why I thought like Vanity Slabs. I was like, oh, this is really interesting. So, it's good to see that there's someone out there instead of just bringing out another grading company, because anyone could have done that. It's something different, something niche, and I've applaud the idea. Like when I seen it, I was like, oh, this is literally what we're talking about, and I think there's a market for this sort of stuff. So kudos to you. And obviously on the photo box too, kudos to you because there's nothing worse trying to buy $1,000 card and some bloke's got some shady photos on there, and you're like, well, how do you want me to fork out $1,000 over the internet when I can't even see what the hell the card looks like, right?
That's right.
And then they don't want to send you more pictures. Well, it's just a big red flag to not buy the card. Let's be honest, right?
John's just talking from experience during the week. He sent me some photos. He goes, "Oh, do you mind running your eyes over this?" And I'm scrolling. I'm like, has he just sent you blurred pictures of the card? He's like, yes. I go, okay, you're not spending.
I asked him for more pictures and he didn't want to send them. He didn't want to send them. I'm like, well, I'm not buying the card. Like, of course, you're clearly sending me blurry photos and not clear photos because it's probably not mint or not in decent condition.
I'll tell you something, guys. Right?
I think Nick.
I'm gonna tie these dots together. Okay, we're gonna do a class. Okay. Now, I started with that photo box because of people selling crappy lighting of their cards. Right? You can't tell the condition, and it's hard to go ahead and for you to make a decision on whether to buy a card that looks like crap. It might be a beautiful, pristine card. Now, the grading company was supposed to answer that. Grading companies were supposed to answer the whole aspect of, hey, the condition of the card that is being sold is, what condition is it? So that way it can be sold at a specific grade, right? Because a 10, that means, whoa, that means it's perfect. That means it's perfection. But what is a 5? What is a 4? What does a 3 mean? Now you go into having to go into comps, right? Go eBay to find out what comparables prices of the last PSA 4 or the last BGS 5 or the last BGS 10, 9, and so forth. You have that ability to understand what you should pay for the card because now you have a way to tie to comps, right? But the fallacy that we just talked about was, number one, you can't get it back fast enough unless you pay hundreds of dollars, which then it defeats the purpose because then you can't sell the card unless it's thousands of dollars of cards. You're not able to assess the investment that you're making to go grade a card. If you're grading a card that's worth less than $100 right now, it costs you over $200 to go grade at PSA. You're practically don't send your $100 card to go ahead and submit it for $200, right? So all these different factors exist. Now, what is being lost in the hobby is what I asked myself when I started Vanity Slabs. I said, what's being lost in the hobby is the trading card aspect of the hobby. The ability for a collector to feel pride in his prized possession and in all the other cards that he likes in his collection. Because let's be honest, you might have a couple of awesome cards that are high in PSA, and you're like, okay, this I'm going to put in the vault. I'm going to save for the kids when they graduate, all this stuff. But you have other hundreds of cards that are awesome and beautiful that you're not going to send to grading, right? Guess what? Vanity Slabs The reason I came out with Vanity Slabs was number one, it allows the collector to stand his raw card with pride next to any graded slab. Number one. Okay, which means you don't have to be ashamed of your card because it's in a top loader. It's no longer in a top loader. It's no longer in a one touch. The one touch is the classiest the classiest choice that a collector has is a one touch at the moment, right? Or until Vanity Slabs. The one touch was by Panini One, by One and One, by Flawless, by Tops. Panini, all these big companies use one touches because it's the most prestigious, displayable type of holder that you can access at the moment before Vanity Slabs. And I said, you know what? I went through 4 manufacturers and I went through crappy holders. I went through all these different tests, product tests, water tests, drop tests. I said, I need a holder that is going to stay put. I want it to close like Tupperware, right? Tupperware protects your food. What you eat
Keeps it fresh.
keeps it fresh. I said, that's what I want for the card. I want to keep it fresh. I want to keep it new. I want to keep it beautiful. But you know what? We're also going to use that common real estate on the top that grading companies use to put a subjective grade on your card, right? We're going to do it and we're going to bring in the creative community of graphic artists, of artists all over the world, no matter where they are. May they be in India, Indonesia, may they be in Philippines, may they be in Australia, may they be in Europe or the US or South America. You can bring in creatives to go ahead and not even have to talk. As a work of art, make your collectible have choices to have a 101 with a 101 label. Have choices to make, if you want a pink label, get your pink label. If you want a label that is going to say the player of your card and you want it to match the colors palette of the card enclosed, you can also get that design. Okay, because it allows the creatives and the collectors to come together and make a masterpiece out of your collectibles. That is what is missing from our hobby. The essence of collecting and trading and the passion that we in the past used to have fun with, used to take pride with, used to show off. Not because it got a specific grade, not because it's worth a certain amount of money. It's because you're proud of it, because it looks good and you can talk about it as a talking piece. If my $5 card is one of my favorite cards because I grew up with that baseball player, who tells me that it should not be in a slab? Who should tell me? And why do I want to send it to grade? I don't care about getting a grade on that, on my $5 card, on my $50 card, if it has sentimental value. So all these different areas of conversation of why there should be a reusable slab, patent pending, right, is why Vanity Slabs came out. Craig, you haven't said anything. Add to the cornflakes.
I'm just here to look pretty, baby. I don't. You got the whole board behind you. You're visionary, and all the wheels are turning at the same time. You know, on point to me. It's called a hobby for a reason. It's not called a business. You know, people have made it into a business, and I appreciate what we're doing to try and bring back the hobby aspect of it. You're not going to go ahead and grade everything. It doesn't make sense. I mean, like Henry was saying, unless you're pulling a 10 for the business aspect to flip a card, what's a 9 going to get you? You're probably just going to make up for the lost time and your grading fee. So, you know, I do send cards out to be graded. They are high-end cards. They're not going to be anything that's a $20, $50, $100, maybe even $500 card. They're going to be pretty darn high end. And, I was holding up this card before just because this is one of the 130 points that we just started up. This one here it's a 2 of 10. It's his jersey number. I don't know how good the guy's going to be, but I know his stuff is pretty hot. I wouldn't even dare send this card out knowing I'm going to wait 6-8 months if I'm not going to pay $200 on it. It's a thicker card. It's probably going to come back graded an 8 or an 8.5. And by that point, what am I selling it for if I do sell it? So I think the biggest thing for me is the hobby aspect. And, like I said, I got out of the hobby. I was a kid. I went to play ball. All I ever wanted to do was just play ball. And then as I got older, started having kids, started my business, it became something part of my childhood, which became part of my adulthood. And now, again, I have a son who's 6 years old, and I get to share the hobby with him, not necessarily the business. And that to me means everything more than anything in itself, is just being a part of the hobby and helping the hobby grow. It's actually an honor to me because, my father talked about having his baseball cards in bike spokes, and I remember having my cards playing games with him, not knowing that Ken Griffey Jr. 89 upper decks, how mass produced they were, would ever be worth $3,000 if they graded a 10 just because. And, I'm glad we did what we did with the cards and we traded them like we did, because to us it was a hobby and there was nothing better than it. I distinctly remember my brother and I trading I was a Frank Thomas fan. I'm 5'0". Thought Frank Thomas and I were the same type of hitter. Didn't make any sense, but I just loved watching the big hurt. And my brother was a Griffey guy, smoothest swinging baseball. And we traded 89 upper deck Griffey for Frank Thomas 1990 Leaf rookies one day. And that to me was the biggest day of my life in hobby and collecting, up until these days where I see how much the business is oriented. But, back then those guys were in 89 and 90, showing my age a little bit. They were it. It was like that was it. And, we both felt the sense of fulfillment. Like, I got his rookie card and I got this. And as a kid, that's what you feel. And now as an adult, I get to feel all that all over again where, I got this cool card. Or I show my kid, look, we got an Aaron Judge, and it could be a $3 card. It could be a 30-cent card. I have camps. I do 8 weeks of summer baseball camps. We had 42 or 44 kids this week. I give away autographed jerseys. I give away, you name it. I was actually just live with our buddy Nick Sichter last night, opening up a bunch of cards. I think he ripped me off and made me spend a little bit too much. But we and I opened a bunch of some cards, and he's going to send me some extra stuff to give out to the campers next week. And again, like, to me, having that opportunity, it's fulfilling in itself. So maybe I'm showing more of the dad side of me and the grown up, but it's cool to being able to give back now at this point. And having the Vanity Slabs to even display them while I give them away is cool to the kids. They see a label, says the name, it says who it is, or whatever the heck we want it to say, we can make it say. And, it's fun. It's fun watching the reactions, like when you pull a big card out of a rip, and it's just exhilarating. We were out at the National, and I saw there was probably about a dozen underprivileged kids, and they were opening cards and screaming, hooting and hollering. There was cameras everywhere. So I had to walk over. I was like, what the heck? I want to be part of this. This seems really, really cool. And, I just got to talking to one of the directors of it, and they do it every year at the National. And I didn't know that. And they bring in some underprivileged kids. They let them open some packs. And I mean, these kids were trading cards on the spot, and the cards couldn't be worth more than $2-3. But the feeling they got and the sense of, oh, wow, that's a LeBron James card. And look at this. Oh, I got a Zion. And the feeling and the look in their eyes is what that to me is all about. And I hope that this can bring some love and fun for the kids, not only the big collector people that want to flip cards,
Love that. Completely love it. It is like, not for anything, the hobby is like our family, but it's those memories that you create with your family as well, your actual family in the hobby. I know my dad was into other things. He was more like, not really comic books and stuff, but my cousin, he was the one that really got me into the hobby since I was young. He was probably, I don't know what the age difference is, about 12 years on me. So when he was around 18, I was 6. He's got a younger brother as well who's a couple years older than me, and used to take us to shows. And I was just going to shows all the time. And I was collecting Australian rules football cards. So our native game here in Australia, and I was collecting, but it's still the same thing. You're there and you're swapping them. And I had Pokemon cards as well. And I remember in school, and I'd trade them with my friends, and that's the joy. Yu-Gi-Oh cards as well. And not friend, I was watching him rip high-end stuff, as well as low end stuff. And it was just the joy of opening more packs and getting your favorite players and doing that type of stuff. That's the memories that you have. I have so many memories of them just opening boxes of stuff on their table and just packets everywhere and boxes everywhere. And that's the joy and the fulfillment. And as a kid, when you're watching people open stuff as well as opening yourself, you're in awe and you're excited when they pull a big card. And that really is what it's all about. Sometimes it's just about appreciating your collection and not just, I don't know, looking at the monetary value of everything, like putting a price tag. I think the memories is the actual price tag that you should be putting on your collection sometimes, not a monetary value. So I really do.
That's a big gap in the industry that I analyze.
It is.
Right?
It is now. Before it wasn't. It is now. I think in the last 3 years, it has become, the gap has swayed more towards monetary value on your collection, I guess. So a lot of people that had that mentality of the memories and stuff have driven into that other sector. Other people were doing it the whole time. Like, all the best to them. Another Jalen Hurts.
I'll see your Jalen Hurts, Craig, and I'll raise you a Jalen Hurts auto.
I got
downtown.
That's a beauty. I love
Craig
it.
wins. Sorry, Henry. Craig wins. Downtown is one of my favorite sets. I am literally in love with Downtown.
Yeah, forget that one then. How about this? Project 21.
Oh, there we go.
Ken
I gotta
Griffey
start
Jr.
looking.
autograph.
I I have out here.
It's a 130 point, right? And JSA certified, right? So you still can get your authentication from any authentication company, still carry it with your holder that is autographed. You can design your label, right? I'm showing. I'm marketing now, guys.
So just some questions on that. Henry. I'm looking at your website. You've got 35 point slabs. You've got 130 point slabs. Now there are other variants out there. Is there plans to add those at a later date? First question. Second question, because I know you elaborate. So let me get these through, and then you can go off. Right? You can go off. I just got to get them in. I got to get them in. Hey, I feel like you and I would get along really well, Henry. I'm telling you, me and you, if I ever go over the stage, you ever go over the stage, we're gonna have a beer together.
You can mute me if you want to. You control the power.
No. Look, at the end of the day, we're here to help give you guys the platform to talk about your business and we wanted to do that, and that's why we reached out because, as I said, we've spoken about this on our podcast, and when I seen it and I was like, look, we need to interview these guys. Like, we need to hear what they have to say about how Vanity Slabs came about and everything. The second thing is, I see you've got like the custom labels. You can get designers. Now, there is a custom label designer beta being released. And I believe this would be like an online interactive sort of designing thing that they would do within the website, and people could design their own label, which then essentially you would print and then send to them with the slabs, right? Is that how that sort of would work? Or I'm not sure.
Work that way. It sort of will work that way.
So go for it, Henry. Go for it.
There's options, right? So
yeah.
So when we talk about design, you're talking about multiple moving parts, right? You're gonna have your holder. You're gonna put your card in your holder. Boom. Step number one is accomplished by that. Step number two is gonna be you're gonna want to get a label for it or not. You might not want to get a label. You just want to put it in a nice holder. It comes with a nice default Vanity Slabs label anyways. But if you want to get a design, you go online and there's going to be a virtual designer where it's going to have different options, right? You can design your label, customize the text on it, choose the colors, backgrounds. It'll have various backgrounds you can choose for your card. And then it's going to allow you to, when you purchase, to either download the digital printable copy. You can print it at your local professional print shop, or if you have many people have very nice printers now. If it's laser printer and you have cardstock, you should be able to print it perfectly fine in cardstock with your laser printer. Or you can also request to have it printed by Vanity Slabs. And at the end of the day, that is more expensive, because if you think about the whole aspect of us having to go and print the card for you, both sides, get it into print shop, and then fulfill it and get it sent to you, that could be more costly. But the option will be there. So there'll be more choices along the way. Okay. Much more choices along the way. We're going to feel out the crowd. We're going to feel out, kind of the aspect of what will fine tune the label creation process. And you'll be able to also choose designers that can also create one-of-one designs for you and custom stuff. If you're a breaker and you want your logo on there, if you're a business and you want your insignia on there, like a business card, and contact information, like double coverage, we could design double coverage, nice and pink and blue, and make it real nice on the top. And every time you do a break, if you do breaks, you pull out the cards and you give the best card and you put it into a vanity slab, you put your double coverage logo on the top and send it to your customer. That's a nice gesture that is above and beyond what other breakers are doing, right? So things like that is what will be as to the design ability and the fulfillment process of a label. Now, as to holders, we're gonna roll out more holders and bigger points and sizes and thickness along the way, but we're also gonna roll out more products that have to do with vanity, the aspect of making sure that your collectibles are protected and look good and help the marketability of it being raw. Okay. So if you go tie back to everything that I started from the beginning with the light box and everything, all my aspects have been, how is the best way to market your card and take advantage of the market without waiting a year to get your card back to try to sell it after the market has gone down the slope. You should be able to instantly slab your card. You should be able to instantly make it look beautiful. And you should be able to instantly sell your card at any time for the max value that the market allows.
I like it. The good thing as well, Source had your Instagram page up. So people that are listening to this on podcast format, Henry and Craig have been showing some cards on their video stream throughout this discussion. Source just brought up their Instagram so you can see the labels. Henry's got a card up right now. Chicago Bulls. Who is that? Is that Jordan?
Kobe White.
Oh, Kobe White. Let's see.
It's a beauty. So is that
That
one
is
and
nice.
one? Is it?
It's a shadow
Panini
box
1-1.
of 49.
That's nice.
And this right here, we just engineered it to be a vertical label.
Wow.
So now when
that's
you
nice.
display your card on the side, it'll have the name on the side.
Okay, nice.
And then that way you can display it this way and you don't have to read it.
How's that going to go when you put Giannis Antetokounmpo and it's like 50 letters?
Yeah. Or Kobe Bryant, rookie, right?
The other thing to keep in mind as well, people that are listening, the gentlemen don't just do sports cards. You can send in Marvel cards, Pokemon cards. They do non-sporting as well. So
Not
don't
send
think
in. They send to you.
They send to you.
They send to you. Get that right. This is why this is unique. They send to you, and it clicks together like a Tupperware container, and you can replace them.
And it keeps
and
it
you can
fresh.
also can you replace the labels as well? Can you replace the labels as well if you wish?
Correct.
Yes.
This is one of a kind. This is literally one of a kind stuff.
You can use it, take a great photo in a light box that Henry can sell you. You put it on eBay or wherever the heck you have it, and then you just switch it out for a top loader and ship it, and then use it again.
There you go, seamless. And let me guess, there's no 12-month backlogs.
Not at all. Not at all.
So you can obviously buy the slabs in bulk, and you got a subscription service to Vanity Slabs. Can you explain what that is? Like the subscription, what people get with your subscription service?
So the subscription service gets you a bookcase slab. Okay, what that means is you get a bundle. Okay, and you get it for way less. And in the bundle, you get a slab, you get this cool little, bookcase, and there's a repack in there. Repack allows you to get a card that's worth maybe, it could be $5 to $100. At the end of the day, you don't know what you're gonna get. But the cool thing about it is that it comes with a label too, so you can actually test drive your new slab. Oh, we're doing a break now.
It's ripping.
Well, you're opening it, so I've got to put your big screen.
This is an impromptu
break. Live on double coverage with Vanity Slabs. All right, so
I love it, Henry. I love it. I love your energy, bro. I love your energy, man. I love it.
I gotta keep it in the camera, so you guys don't think I'm doing any funny business.
You just lost your guitar pick.
It just fell because I took it. All right, here we go.
You got to explain the guitar pick too now that you have it out.
So here you go. You get a little pack.
Yep.
You get a slab, and then you get this guitar pick that fell out. This guitar pick, which is cool. You don't get guitar picks in grading companies.
I just bought a ukulele. I'm learning how to play a ukulele. I might have to get myself a Vanity Slabs
there you go.
pick.
People buy Vanity Slabs because of the pick sometimes. All right. So keep in mind, just keep an eye on the pick. You have a pick in there. And then I'm gonna rip this pack. So here's a Vanity Slab, and we're gonna do a product review here, right? We're gonna do a demo.
Yeah, I want to show you. I want you to show us like you putting it in the slab as well.
Yes. First, we gotta find out what's in it. So I'm ripping.
It's gonna be a Jordan 86 Flea.
Yeah.
It could be. We don't know. You never know what you're gonna get. All right. Boom. What is it?
Dominguez.
Jason Dominguez.
All right.
Nice.
See, you get quality stuff in here. It's not cheesy stuff. And then here it is. You got the label there.
Yeah,
right?
nice.
So you got the whole package. This is a subscription service, guys, for I think it's $19.95 or something like that a month. For $19.95 a month, you get a slab, which by itself is already worth $19.95, right? And you get a repack that comes with the label, and you get the bookcase. Now, let's try to do. Let me see how I can. All right, is that better?
He's just a pro. He's a pro. He knows what he's doing.
Boombastic. Here we go. All right. So here we go.
Show us how it works. I'm interested. I'm interested.
We're gonna open up the slab. It comes in a.
Comes with a sleeve, and also you can protect it.
It's all about reusability, guys. All about reusability. So here's a sleeve you can reuse.
There's another pick.
What is this?
I'm loving this.
This guy. Who's this guy?
Who's that?
What is this guy doing here? So you can ask for an autograph from this professional baseball player. Correct.
Feel free to call.
All right. Oh, look.
Call me anytime.
All right. So let's open this up. So here's the magic, guys. You see this slab? It comes with some stuff already in there. Now you take your pick and you slide it through the groove on the bottom, and you kind of pry it open.
Okay, I got that. I like that.
All right. So now you have two pieces. You have the lid and you have the tray.
If anyone's watching, Henry just showed how to crack your current slabs and put them in a Vanity Slab. You just use his Vanity Slabs pick. So any graded cards you want to crack,
you take out right. You take out the stuff that's in there, that's stock. You take your card out of your sleeved top loader. Top loaders are expensive, guys. All right, and you put it in there into the tray, right, which is the bottom part. Take the little.
Does it fit in there with the sleeve on or no?
It does, but you don't need it.
It does, but you don't need it. The reason is because it's fit.
It's
with
snug.
pressure.
Okay.
This gets
It's
sealed with
airtight.
pressure.
It won't move.
I like that.
Right, so you have to make sure that things are in, and you can take all four corners and you press and apply pressure. All right, and you just do make sure that there's no gaps,
I like it.
and then you can see, and it's perfectly joined. And look at that card.
There you
Way
go.
better than a top loader. Way better than a top loader. Look at that. Look
I
how
love
it
it.
pops.
That's awesome.
So this person could have gotten this for $19.95 a month. Now a subscription, there's no contract or anything like that, so you can cancel at any time. So at the end of the day, a subscription service is just a monthly recurring charge, but it's worth it, guys. It's really worth it. And
I
there's
like it.
also bulk rates on buying multiple slabs. So if you buy pizza by the slice or you buy it by the pie, it's more expensive by the slice. So you can actually buy a whole bunch of slabs and get them for a real good price. And if you're a vendor, or we're vendor friendly, affiliate friendly, referral friendly, we give all the kickbacks that you could think. Oh, but the price point on the slab, I don't know, because maybe I'd rather just save it and put it on a top loader. Listen, if you're thinking that way, you're not thinking the big picture. The big picture here is that your card is gonna look like this in a slab, and I can put it next to any PSA slab and take pride.
Here we go.
Tell
Comp.
me, tell me, tell me. Look, here's the size to side. There it is, right? Side to side.
There you
I
go.
mean, I tell you what, the label looks better. You know, look, I will say, I would like a little bit smaller vanity slabs, but I have seen options where that can be a little bit smaller. This is what I mean. You've got the
Custom sourced.
flexibility. You've got the flexibility for the people out there to design those labels. And man, look, I'm actually blown away. I actually can't believe how easy that was, and it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. I'm not
And
gonna lie.
it's fun.
It is fun. What's the price
I
point?
want to put some more into vanity slabs right now.
So what's the price point for the slabs? How do you go so people know at home how much it is? It costs to them if they're interested in sending you sending out the slab to them, which is the niche, the uniqueness of vanity slabs.
So a raw slab is $19.95. Okay, one slab. And the retail pack, which you just saw, the retail pack comes with a repack is an extra $5. Now, if you get the subscription service, you save those $5 and you're paying $19.95 for the slab and the repack and the bookcase and so forth, right? It's just a recurring subscription. It's a better value. So right there, if you were to calculate value, now you can have a card that's worth $100 or $50 and you just made money, right? So think about it that way. If you buy a pack of cards right now, you potentially are going to lose your money most of the time, unless you get a case hit, right, or a nice high hit. Think about it the same way. If you go the subscription route, you're probably going to end up getting your vanity slab for free. If you get a nice card like that, Jason Dominguez probably right there is worth probably almost the same as a slab, right? Things like that. So when you play with vanity slabs, what we did was we created vanity slabs to be multi-purpose. If you're a coupon shopper, you'll find referral codes. Maybe if you refer some friends, you'll save 10%, 15%. If you become an affiliate, then you'll make money because you're going to make a profit from everybody that you refer and everyone that you get into the site that buys a slab, and you can do that. Or if you're a vendor, if you're a card shop, if you're a breaker, you're going to make money because you're now fancying up the cards for your clients, and you can put your breaker name there, and you can do things that are going to increase your brand awareness and your brand marketing for yourself, for your brand. Same thing goes for the local card shops and so forth. What we want to do is we want to make vanity slabs accessible everywhere. At your card shop, you can go and pick up a Vanity Slab. At your local retailer, you can pick up a Vanity Slab. If you go to Amazon.com, guess what? Grading companies, you can't do that. We can. So we can sell on Amazon.com. We can sell Vanity Slabs. And on VanitySlabs.com, you can do all that jazz. So
I love it. I love it.
Brilliant.
Quick question from myself, because I saw your company pop up, and then I've seen another grading company, doesn't need to be mentioned. They're trying to do the same, provide the similar service. Obviously, they're not sending the slabs home to you or doing any of that stuff. You still got to put it in a submission, your cards, to get put into a PC slab. So
Tyler's a cool guy. Tyler is a cool guy. Tyler is the creator of that company, right?
Yeah.
And he's a real good guy. Where he's been very, very focused in the hobby. He gives back in the hobby. He jumps into a lot of breaks in a lot of groups, and we've been following Tyler on his journey, and he's done great. And I think that he's a great guy. And HGA is a great grading company. If you're gonna grade your cards, definitely, you know what, get that stylish look. If you don't want to grade, you have to send your cards away to HGA for 20 business days, and it's gonna get you a similar design label and stuff like that. But it's gonna be permanently encapsulated, which means you still have to assess your reason for sending your card away. Is it worth it to send your card away and wait the time to get it back with a custom label? With Vanity Slabs, you get instant gratification. You get your card. You never part with your card. You put it in the holder and you make it look beautiful now.
I like it.
And not only that, but if I wanted to sell my raw card, guess what I do? I advertise my card with the holder, with the label, everything. And someone says, "Hey, I want to offer you $10 for your raw card." Guess what? I'll be like, "All right, well, I can do that price, but I'm gonna send it to you in a top loader." Because you can take the card out and reuse the slab 20 times over. You want to go ahead and take 20 pictures for 20 different cards and use one vanity slab? You can do that too and stage your card. Those are all things you can do with a reusable, reopenable, and reclosable slab.
I like it. I like it. I was actually you answered a part of my next question. We've got a few left, but what does your company envision for the future and your place in the hobby?
What we envision is to take it down a notch on why you collect, right? You don't collect to invest. Now, many people collect to invest. Many people have been collectors for a very long time. They collect because they're happy in trading. They like the social aspect of a man cave or a female cave or whatever it is, that whatever gender cave you want to belong to. But at the end of the day, you have the ability to interact with other people in this thing called a hobby in many different shapes or forms: breaking, trading in person, trading online, buying and selling, doing razzes or whatever it is that you have, and having fun in the hobby. You can do it, but you're going to keep on having fun. It's not about a subjective number. It's not about getting grades, but it can be too. Remember, grading has is value. I'm not saying it doesn't have its value, and I'm never going to not tell you not to go grade your cards, right? But it's bringing that ability, that essence of displaying your card with style and grace and protecting it to the max and being proud of what you have, no matter how much it's worth. Okay? And that's 98% of the cards in existence deserve attention and love too.
I love it. Any final words, Craig? Or
I won't let him talk.
Yeah.
I won't let him talk. No,
like I said, I'm just here to look good. No, yeah. I think the future goal is to find a way to make it accessible and affordable for everybody. We've spoken about, we've had some, resistance, I guess, from price points and certain other things, and that's all well and good, and it's understood. And especially as a new business, you always expect those types of things. I don't think it's possible to meet requirements. It's actually not possible to meet requirements of what people expect. We've had people say things as silly as to make it a $2 cost, and it's like, well, that's less than our cost. So that doesn't. I mean, we're not trying to make billions of dollars or anything, but we're also not trying to lose money on a venture like this. So I think our overall goal is, once we start to factor in a little bit better manufacturing on our end, a little bit more bulk pricing for everybody, a little bit more easily accessible retail price or something like that, we'll do it as the hobby allows us to do it, or as this venture allows us to do it. And if it's not a possibility, then we're kind of stuck where we're at. And where we're at was with price points. But I think that, with Henry's vision and with all the things that we've spoken about and the things that have transpired in such a short period of time, once we really get moving, I think, it's not far-fetched to say we'll be able to reach out to a lot more people.
I like it.
Price points. Craig, you're talking about price points when the price of gas is going up. I would love to have a gallon of gas for 50 cents. I would love to buy a gallon of milk for 25 cents. I would love to go into Disney World for $9.95.
Oh yeah, good luck with that. I've been
I would
to Disney
love
World.
to go ahead and go watch a movie and buy a bucket of popcorn for $5. The reality is that inflation drives up the cost of plastic, the cost of shipping, the cost of fulfillment, the cost of economy. The economy in itself has to be assessed when people are talking about price points. Now, to get grading at $200 a card, I don't know how you factor those price points, because the plastic, nor the service, nor the actual material that's being used, is costs $200, all right, or $400, or the shipping that it gets shipped back to you, it doesn't cost $200. So all these different things, when people say price point, I would love to pay for Vanity Slabs the price of a top loader. Yeah, I would love to do a lot of things too, but the reality is that if you want something great quality, you pay for it. You can buy a Louis Vuitton, or you can buy a Louis Button. Which one do you want? I prefer the Louis Vuitton or nothing at all. Okay, so at the end of the day, you're getting a Louis Vuitton, you're getting a Ferrari when you're getting this quality of product and the flexibility and what is it called? The flexibility of what you're able to do with it is a value in itself. So
the other thing also is, people need to keep in mind with businesses, and initially these are prices, and when you can make stuff more streamlined and if costs, you can find a better way, you will always provide a better opportunity for your consumer. It's just people always expect the world at the beginning, and until they actually come and try your product, they don't know. So I really do encourage people that are watching this, that are going to listen to this, are going to watch it maybe 10 years from now, 5 years from now, tomorrow, a day, a week, a month. Try the boys out at Vanity Slabs. Try it before you make your criticism on anything. That's what Sauce and I have always said to people. People came in with other grading companies, ragged on them, said they were terrible, said this method was crap in the hobby. And we said, you've got to try them. Just try them. Give people an opportunity. So I thank you for your time, Henry, Craig. We really appreciate it. We will put everything about Vanity Slabs in the description when we post on our Instagram and Facebook. All the info, we'll provide it to you. You're great guys. We really do appreciate you giving up your time as well and giving us an insight into Vanity Slabs and a tutorial, on-screen tutorial on how to do it.
Thank
a
you.
live rip. So we really
We
do
had
appreciate
everything.
it.
We had everything. I love you. Honestly, I love your passion, Henry and Craig, and look, all the best to your business venture and Vanity Slabs. I think it's a brilliant idea. Look, I'm just gonna say I think it's a brilliant idea because it's something that I thought about, and I was like, well, I actually don't care for the grade. I just want it encapsulated in a slab, and Vanity Slabs provides that. And provides you flexibility to change the card. If you feel like on Monday you want to have your Kobe Bryant in there, and on Tuesday you want to have your LeBron James in there, you can do that. So it's a one of a kind product. And yeah, as Doma said, look, try it, give it a crack, and you might be a return customer because you'll be like, this, how brilliant is this? If you don't care about grading, this is the slab for you. I'm just going to say that. If you do not care about grading, this is the slab for you.
Thank you. I think Henry said he wanted.
Awesome.
Thank you. Appreciate it. I think Henry said he wanted to send you a repack to do live, Sauce. I think he said it. I don't know, but I think he said it.
Sauce,
We would love to.
You and I connect, Sauce. You and I.
Hey,
Sauce.
I'm telling you, Henry, we've met in person. We're gonna have a long yarn and quite a few beers because I can tell you your passion comes through the screen, Henry, and I love it. I love it.
Craig, you and I can just sit out the back and have a quiet discussion.
I tell you, that sounds good to me. I'm the guy just kicking my feet. I'm good to go.
I love it. I love it.
Good, man. Thank you, fellas.
No worries.
Right,
Thanks to everyone that
for your
joined
time.
in the comments as well. We appreciate it. So on behalf of myself, Henry, Craig, and the great man Sauce, keep living, loving, and breathing sports. It's double coverage and peace.
You guys are awesome. Have a good.
Thank you for tuning in. Please don't forget to leave a review on the Apple Podcasting app. Also, follow us on socials: Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok. Talking all sports, double coverage.